Hi, I'm Dimitri from Amsterdam, and you're watching Toasted.
Dimitri, welcome here at Armada HQ.
Thank you.
How did you wind up here except for a bike or a taxi?
Um, a good friend of mine, the manager of Elke Klein, Jeroen Fontijn, I know him quite well, and he asked me for a favor, and well, I wanted to do that. There's no problem. I like Elke's music also, and it's good to be involved. I like it.
Very much so. Hey, of course, for everybody, for all those people who don't know who you are, I was thinking, like, how can I introduce you? Because it's almost impossible to introduce you. I think you're one of the most important DJs that Holland has ever had. I mean, of course, I want to hear your opinion on my statement that you being one of the most important DJs from Holland.
I'm a DJ since day one. When house music started, I was there in the famous club Roxy in Amsterdam. It all started here in Holland. It was the house temple of Holland, and I had my own club nights over there, high tech soul movements, people from all over the world came to the Roxy. It was a really well known club. And that's how it all began for me.
And after that, of course, your career spiraled. I mean, you played so many gigs, all the biggest stages. You get a lot of acknowledgement from all the other famous DJs. And you were number 3 for the DJ Mag Top 100. You were number 8 for the DJ Mag Top 100 when that still was something.
Yeah. That's right. This was in the 90s. Yeah, these were really like peaking for me. You know, I was traveling all over the world, and that was really good. Yeah.
And of course, I mean, there's a documentary on your life and your career. So I mean, I all the things that I will ask you has probably been asked like for 50 million times. So I choose to talk to you about the now.
Yes.
So where we are now and what you're going to do, because you're playing a set here. You just had your 50th birthday party and you played an 8-hour set.
An 8-hour set, yes, that's what I prefer. The long sets, you know, I can make a story and go into the deep, you know, and play all styles of music, you know, and make it like a voyage, you know. And
8 hours, man. I mean, it's like 8 hours work is tough, but to play and stand behind the desk for 8 hours, how do you pull it off?
Sober that's first of all, but no, you know, it's the energy of the audience. You know, the dance floor is like an engine, and it gives me a lot of energy, and of course the music. I mean, without the music, we would be tired in 30 minutes. You know, so the music and the people, the whole vibe. You know, the really tense vibe, you know, that's keeps you going for hours and hours. I mean, keeps me going for hours. You know.
Of course, you had a famous break finally, because you've been playing for I think 27 years, maybe nonstop, and you choose to work with handicapped children. That's true, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. I have a disease of addiction, you know, and so I had real problems with it around that time. And so I decided to stop the music, to stop the nightlife, you know, and go and work with these disabled children, and it did me really well. But I still didn't get off my addiction, you know. So it took me longer to find out how to do it, you know, how to cope with it, and be around people who do all kinds of drugs, you know, and be sober myself, you know, and. First of all, I'm really dedicated to the job. I love my music, and that's what I'm doing. I come to a party to play my music, you know, and bring the people joy, and I can do that sober. So that's the way it works for me.
I think that's a magnificent accomplishment. I don't think a lot of people can even do it. I think it's a really rare thing to kick your habit. What is your secret, and what's your advice to people who want to do the same?
Don't do anything. You know, for an addict, a little bit doesn't work. You know, so you have to quit it all. You know, I stopped smoking, I stopped drinking, everything. You know, and it's a gift. I feel really good. You know, and that's beautiful. You know, I got the love for the music is back. You know, and that's wonderful.
You inspired a lot of DJs who are really successful here in Holland right now to do the same. I think Chesto, of course, and also Armin van Buuren, one of the co-owners of Armada, where we are right now. How did you look upon their rise, and what do you think of it?
Well, they're wonderful, you know. I mean, it's not really my style of music, you know, but I mean they sure did a really good job business wise, you know. They knew how to put themselves in the market, and they were really good at what they were doing. So I have lots of respect for that, you know.
How do you look upon the whole Dutch scene? I mean, because it really has made its mark on the international dance world, and you of course helped it grow because you started it off in the Roxy, as you just said. Looking back at that period of time when you started playing and where we are right now, could you ever imagine that it would be like this?
No way, you know, never ever. You know, when I started DJing, you know, I had to clean the dance floor at the end, you know, because you were not a star whatsoever, you know, nothing like that. And people, you were just like a bartender, or you were doing the music, you know, and I would never ever, never thought that it would go and this way, you know. It's unbelievable. Yeah.
You were known to be one of the first DJs to really mix styles. You would play drum and bass and deep house and disco even, and sometimes even punk if you wanted to, which really make you stand out of the rest.
Yes, I'm known for playing all kinds of styles mixed with each other, you know, and that's
You were actually one of the first to do this.
yeah, yeah. It makes you go deep. You know, you can if there's only one style of music, especially when you do all night long, 7-8 hour set. You know, I get bored with non-stop the same style. You know, and I like to challenge the people also. You know, and mix in stuff from the late '80s. You know, electronic stuff and all kinds of dance music. You know, and yeah, that's what I love. You know.
You were also one of the first DJs from Holland to play outside of Holland, which was radical in the time. I mean, when I heard that I was living in Amsterdam and I heard you were playing outside, everybody was like, wow, this is really something.
Yeah, yeah. It all started in Roxy when these people from other countries came and they heard me play and they said, well, I want you to come over to Italy, to Ibiza. You know, this was like late '80s, early '90s, and I was the first one to have a residency in the Twilo, the club in New York at that time. Together with Carl Cox and Sasha and Dickweed and Sven Vat. Yeah, it was amazing, you know, traveling non-stop and playing all over.
Seeing the whole music scene evolve and also your own role change over the time. I mean, we talked to, for instance, Danny Tenaglia, and he said, well, you know, it's sometimes tough not to be bitter because I used to play on the main stage, and now when I go to a festival, suddenly I notice they put me on a smaller stage and I see all these new kids playing all these big stages and they can't even mix.
That's true, you know. I mean, but on the other hand, you know, it's like I see it also like top sport, you know. When you're a pro footballer, you know, and you can't stay up there like for decades, you know. I mean, everybody has his peak times. For me, it was the '90s, and I still love it, you know. But of course, there's so many young people who are also, a lot of them are really good, you know, and so they deserve a stage as well, you know, and the young people want to hear the younger artists too, you know, and so I can understand it, but sometimes it's a little bit bitter, you know, but it's all right, you know. It's I'm very happy what I'm doing now, and the places where I get to play, you know, it's wonderful, you know. I play at Awakenings. I have my own stage in a day at the park, you know. I do great things, you know. I love it, and. But it's not always a main stage at the end, you know, not anymore, but that's all right.
Do you realize and appreciate the important role you had for this scene?
Yes, of course. Yeah, I cherish it.
Do you realize how important you were?
Well, I don't know exactly, but I think I do realize, yeah, but yeah. Yeah.
Hey, one of the things which was I was really looking forward to, because I was reading your bio, and like I said, it is like the bio of dance music in general, is that you bought a studio and you started making music yourself. You are producing music, and I just overheard you talking to some people from here. Like, I have a lot of music.
Yes, I do. For first of all, I'm a DJ in my veins. It's really I'm a DJ, and besides that, I do the producing also, but it's not my main thing. But I do make a lot of music. That's right. And I'm going to play some really great tracks in half an hour. I just made in the studio, and producing is also part of me. Yeah.
Are you releasing your stuff regularly? I mean,
well, some of it, but I have a lot already in the studio to be released. But
so anytime soon, can we expect any music of you anytime soon?
Well, for sure this year, but I can't tell you when exactly. But besides that, I make also music for labels like Espy and Planet E from Corcraig. But I have a lot of stuff ready to be released. Yeah.
Wow. So new music coming up this year. A lot of DJs nowadays and producers choose to release singles rather than albums. To me, that's a pity, because if I like some music, I want to hear more. So what is your choice? Are you going to release singles as well, or do you have enough music for an album?
I do have enough music, but it's also commercially, I love an album myself. I've never ever had an album, but an album is like a beautiful work. It's like all these tracks, but commercially, people, I know it myself. When I hear an album, I pick out one, maybe two tracks, that I really like, and those I play, and the rest I forget. I don't look at them that much anymore. And this is like commercially, it's much better to release singles, so you have full attention to each track you release, including remixes by other producers. It's.
I think I would love to have an 8-hour set of you on my iPod.
Okay, well, you can go to my SoundCloud.
Okay, because you have the sets up there.
I do. I don't have the latest set of Radion, but I do have like all the Trouw sets, 8-hour sets, 7-hour sets.
That was actually one of my questions I was about to ask. Trouw was a magical club as well. Was it as good for you as the Roxy?
It was different, but it was as good, yeah. But it was like Trouw was in a time that it was not new, Like Roxy was something. It was new, It was very exciting, but and a lot of shows, everything, But Trouw was really for the love of the music. Trouw was better, and Roxy was more extravaganza, So it's different, both great.
I checked your Facebook page, and one thing made me smile. You did not a back-to-back with Derek May, but a belly-to-belly you wrote.
Yeah. Yeah, well, what do you want me to say?
Well, what's a belly-to-belly?
Well, it's a greeting. You bounce the bellies against each other. Yeah,
There must have been some set you guys together too.
It was really good. It was a wonderful night. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Hey, what holds in your future for you?
Well, as I told you, great parties coming up, great festivals coming up. A lot of festivals this summer.
In and out outside of Holland. I mean, you play in Europe as well, or the States?
Yeah, well, mostly in Holland. Mostly in Holland. Yeah.
So, if people want to check you out, can they find information on your Facebook page?
Oh yes, and also at dimitri.amsterdam.com. No, .amsterdam.
You own Amsterdam.
Well, Amsterdam is like a domain, so Dimitri.amsterdam is my agenda.
Hey, thanks so much for your time.
You're welcome, man.